Alright guys, so Lenovo dropped this new IdeaPad 3, and on paper, it looks pretty interesting, especially for the price. They're marketing it towards students and businesses, but with some of the specs we're seeing, it could be a decent budget gaming rig. Let's dive in. First off, the GPU. It's rocking an RTX 3060 with a whopping 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. That's serious firepower for a laptop in this price range. We're talking about playing modern games at respectable settings. Not ultra, of course, but definitely playable. Think smooth frame rates in most titles, even with some of the eye candy turned on. That 3060 is NVIDIA's second-gen RTX architecture, so ray tracing is on the table too, which is pretty sweet. Now the processor. We got a 12th gen Intel Core i7-12700. 12 cores, 20 threads, and a boost clock up to 4.9 GHz. That's a lot of horsepower for multitasking, video editing, and yeah, gaming. This thing should chew through everyday tasks without breaking a sweat. Pair that with the RTX 3060, and you've got a solid foundation for a versatile machine. But here's where things get a little interesting. The listing mentions 4 GB of RAM and a 64 GB SSD. That's not a lot, especially with a powerful CPU and GPU like this. 4 GB of RAM is going to be a bottleneck, no question. And 64 GB of storage? That's barely enough for Windows and a couple of games. Thankfully, the listing also mentions up to 64 GB of RAM and a 2 TB SSD. So, it sounds like there are different configurations available. If you're considering this laptop, definitely make sure you're getting the upgraded RAM and storage. Don't even think about the base model. It won't do those components justice. Connectivity-wise, it's pretty well equipped. You've got USB-C, regular USB, HDMI, even a VGA port for older projectors. Plus, Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth, so you're covered on the wireless front. They even threw in an Ethernet port, which is always nice to see. The listing also mentions Windows 11 Home, which is pretty standard these days. It's got a cleaner interface than Windows 10 and some nice quality of life improvements. So the big question, is this the best budget gaming laptop? Potentially. That RTX 3060 and i7 processor are a powerful combo. But the base configuration with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of storage is a hard pass. If you can snag a configuration with at least 16 GB of RAM and a 512 GB SSD, then you might have a real winner on your hands. Just keep in mind, this is an IdeaPad, not a Legion. It's not built specifically for gaming, so manage your expectations accordingly. Don't expect it to run Cyberpunk on max settings. But for everyday use and some decent 1080p gaming, it could be a great option. Just do your research and make sure you're getting the right specs for your needs. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.